May the 4th be with you, everyone. It's Star Wars Day, and that means it's time for a Star Wars list. This is the top 5 Star Wars characters from video games, in my opinion, this week. Now we got a few qualifiers on this. First, anybody who appeared or was mentioned in the movies is out, because that would just be too obvious. Next, we're keeping this strictly to protagonists that had their most prominent roles in the video games. Because if we were to open this up to the whole Star Wars Expanded Universe, I think this top 5 would just be Thrawn, Mara Jade, and Thrawn.
Jason Moore, consider yourself a prisoner of the Rebel Alliance.
Well, if you quit shooting at me, I have a proposal to make.
First off, Rogue Squadron is awesome and everybody should play it. Lieutenant Jason Moore is a former pilot in the Imperial 128th TIE Interceptor Squadron.
Now the best of the best. Cut the chatter.
She's also one of the first cases we see of a female Imperial naval officer. Note that competent naval officer. She is persuaded to join the Rebels, and from that point, many of the missions you do are a direct result from her intel.
Jason Moore said this is one of many small factories where the Empire produces its TIEs and walkers. Jason has given us another Imperial military location. I'm also scanning a lot of human life readings. It could be the prisoners.
That's not them.
Sure, at the end of the day, she's basically just a poorly processed MP3 file, but she's one of the few squad members that actually gets to have some character growth.
It feels strange, though, being on the other side. I took their orders for a long time.
And when you combine that with...
Are you quite done?
Okay, let's move on.
This one thinks he's a Jedi. And why don't I need to see your identification?
Because you're dead.
Tiber Zahn of the Zahn Consortium in the Empire at War Forces of Corruption expansion builds an intergalactic crime ring rivaling that of Black Sun, beats Jabba the Hutt at his own game, and even manages to survive an encounter with
the great Admiral Thrawn.
In the final mission, Tiber's fleet raids the late Emperor Palpatine's super star destroyer Eclipse, and uses it to decimate 3 space stations and both the Imperial and Alliance fleets. And what does he do with his new toy?
I've no need to keep the half-constructed Eclipse.
Obliterate 2 enemy forces and steal the biggest and most powerful ship the galaxy's ever seen? Meh. But what really seals it for this character is how he can go from I'm going to genocide your entire race to cheerful in a matter of seconds.
If you ever lie to me again, or hide information from me, you and every Dalthamary witch will die the day after you betray me. And I'll kill every one of those damned Rancors as well. Am I as clear as I can possibly be?
I understand.
Splendid. Now then.
Corellian ale in a clean glass.
Kyle Katarn is a former Rebel Spec Ops from the Dark Forces series. In Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Kyle believes that his lover Jan has been killed by 2 Dark Jedi. He travels to the Valley of the Jedi, which actually has a pretty cool backstory, look it up, and uses it to fill himself with as much Force power as possible. This naturally has a few dark side related mood swings.
Don't! Mercy!
But being an overall good person, he manages to walk the line pretty well, proving that just using a little bit of the dark side doesn't quite make you Space Hitler.
Even now, after all this pain, it's not too late. Come, join us.
And of course, no Star Wars hero would be complete without a few corny one-liners.
Never trust a bartender with bad grammar.
That is how flesh and blood fights. Let me show you how one fights when one's life is the Force.
Okay, maybe I have a bit of a soft spot for this character, given our similar handicaps. Vices Mara is so strong in the Force, she's able to survive the destruction of her home planet by Darth Nihilus, who takes her on as his apprentice when he discovers her. She's able to sense the Exile's presence from all the way across the galaxy. When she joins up, she quickly becomes one of your most powerful party members, and can even teach you to see in Force-o-vision? In keeping with the game's themes, Vices is drawn to the Exile because of how they're both broken individuals, and will do anything to protect the Exile from Darth Nihilus.
It is the echo, a wound that travels still, that when heard, made me understand that there was another wounded as I was.
Finally, in a weird way, her story comes to a satisfying conclusion whether you follow the light or the dark side. Unless you sacrifice her, then you're just a dick.
From the death of an entire world comes great power. hands shall be hate, my eyes revenge.
Statement. Just a simple droid here, ma'am. Nothing to see. Move along.
What can be said about HK-47 that hasn't already been said? This is everyone's favorite homicidal little assassin droid, who wants nothing more out of life than to burn holes through meat bags. They're, organics.
But that technical term does not accurately portray the vast amount of bulbous slushiness present in your bipedal form.
Nearly every single one of his lines of dialogue is an absolute gem, and these of course being BioWare games, you can always count on his objective input for all your moral conundrums.
Statement. The path of tolerance and compassion is self-destructive, master.
But with all the vaporizing and dismemberments, it's easy to overlook that underneath all of that red Durasteel, gears, and actuators lurks the heart of a poet.
Definition. Love is making a shot to the knees of a target 120 kilometers away using an Aerotech sniper rifle with a tri-light scope.
And that was my top 5 Star Wars characters in video games. If you thought some characters should have been on the list, remember that with so many characters, this was just my opinion at the time of making this video. But by all means, leave your thoughts in the comments. If you want to see some more Star Wars stuff, maybe check out this video of R2-D2 voiced by Mark Wahlberg. Or check out some classic gaming Impaired of us co-oping Battlefront 2. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. K-Bear.